Oxford Read and Discover Level 6, Helping Around the World, by Sarah Medina, read by Wayne Forrester, published and copyright Oxford University Press 2010. Introduction. All around the world, people help each other. Many people, like doctors and teachers, have jobs that help others. They are paid money for their work. Lots of people give their time freely to do work to help others. They are called volunteers. What are these people doing? Do you know people who do work to help others? Are there volunteers where you live? What do they do? Would you like a job that helps others?
Discover!
Now read and discover more about helping around the world. Chapter 1. Caring for others. It's wonderful to care for a sick child who needs help. It's amazing to save someone's life. Many people do jobs that care for others. Doctors and nurses. Workers like doctors and nurses are very important. They help people to stay healthy, and they care for people who are sick. Doctors often work in clinics or hospitals, and they find out why people are sick and help them to get better. Some doctors, called surgeons, do difficult operations. Nurses work with doctors. They give medication and care for sick people and their families. In some schools, there's a nurse to help children who are sick or who have an accident. Helping people through life. The people who bring babies into the world are called midwives. They also help the baby, mother and father to be well in hospital or at home. Children and adults get help from doctors and nurses in schools, clinics and hospitals. They can have vaccinations, and they can learn about being healthy. They can also go to the dentist to care for their teeth and mouth.
Discover!
Every year, about 130 million babies are born around the world. That's about 250 babies every minute of every day. It's important to stay healthy. We should care for our body from when we are young to when we are old. If we eat well and walk or do sport, we probably won't get sick very often. We can help ourselves to stay healthy. Others can help us too if we are sick or disabled, or if we have an accident. When people are old, sick or disabled, they often need help with cooking, cleaning, shopping, washing clothes, and taking medication. They can get help at home from other people in the family or from care workers. Sometimes they have to live in a care home. When people are going to die, they sometimes stay in a hospice. Hospice workers can help people a lot at the end of their life. Voluntary work. In many countries, the government helps to care for people. Governments give money to workers like doctors and nurses. Sometimes, when there isn't enough money, more help is needed. More help is needed after an emergency too. Volunteers give this help. Anyone can do voluntary work. Volunteers can be young or old. Many volunteers work with charities that help people all around the world. Some doctors and nurses fly thousands of kilometers to do voluntary work in another country. They work in hospitals or clinics for many weeks or months. They sometimes give vaccinations so that people do not get serious diseases.
Discover!
Every year in the USA, about 62 million people do voluntary work. About 8 million volunteers are 16 to 24 years old. Chapter 2. Teaching others. People who teach others do one of the most important jobs. Education helps people to get a better job and to have a better life. Education is important for everyone. At home. When we are very young, we don't know much about anything. Our parents and other people in our family teach us many things at home. Before we go to school, they help us to eat, walk, talk and play. They help us as much as possible at the start of our life. At school. School teachers have a very special, important job. They get children ready for adult life. School teachers help very young children to read and write, and to do art and simple mathematics. They also teach older children subjects like geography, history, science and languages. Many other people help in schools. Classroom assistants give more help to children who need it. For example, children who are disabled. In some schools, cooks make snacks and lunch for children and their teachers. Playground assistants help children to stay safe when they are in the playground.
Discover.
Sadly, many people in the world can't have a good education. Today, only about 82% of people who are more than 15 years old can read and write. At college and university. Education isn't just for children. After school, many young people go to college or university. Some people go to college or university when they are older adults. Others study different subjects at home after work. Professors teach college and university students many different subjects, from architecture to zoology. One of the most popular university subjects is law. Professors need to know a lot about their subject so that they can help students to do well and get better jobs through life.
Discover.
One of the biggest universities is Indira Gandhi National Open University in India. It has about 2 million students. At work. Education doesn't stop after college or university. Trainers teach workers new information, for example, information technology, or a new language, to help them to do their job better. Education really is for life. Volunteer teachers. All around the world, there are volunteer teachers. Doing voluntary work is a wonderful way to see new places and meet new people. Volunteers also help many children and adults to learn information that can help them through their life. Volunteer teachers work in different ways. Some volunteers move to another country to teach there for a few months or years. Others stay in their own country. Maybe they go to a school for just 1 or 2 hours a week to help young children with subjects like reading and mathematics. Maybe they teach their country's language, for example, French, Spanish or English, to people who move there from another country. Chapter 3. Food for everyone. Some people are lucky because they have many different types of food to eat. In other places, people can't always grow or buy all the food that they need. Many people work to try to provide food for everyone. Growing food. Healthy food helps people to stay well because it has lots of important nutrients. When people grow food, they help themselves and other people too. Some people have a garden or other land where they can grow fruit and vegetables for family and friends. Maybe they can't provide all the food that they all need, but they can help. Farmers grow most of the food that people eat. In Asia, farmers grow a lot of rice, and in Europe, they grow a lot of wheat. In North America, farmers grow a lot of corn, almost 50% of all the corn that's grown in the world. The chart above shows that in 2007, more sugarcane was grown in the world than any other crop. About 30% of sugarcane is grown in Brazil. Farmers also grow vegetables like potatoes, carrots and onions, and fruits like apples, oranges and bananas. Some farmers raise animals so that people can eat meat like chicken and beef. Selling food. We all need people who sell food. Small local stores sell food. Markets and supermarkets sell a lot of food. People even sell food on the internet. Not enough food. People in some parts of the world have as much food as they need to be healthy. People in other parts of the world don't have enough to eat, and sometimes they are so hungry that they can die. In some places, people can't grow crops because the weather is too hot and dry or too wet. This often means that they don't have enough to eat. Sometimes people can't buy food because of a war or a natural disaster like a bad storm. Maybe food is too expensive and people don't have enough money to feed themselves and their families.
Discover.
Around the world, more than 1 billion people don't have enough food. Without food and water, people can die after only 4 weeks. Helping hungry people. Many people work to help others who don't have enough food. Some charities give people seeds so that they can grow food. Experienced farmers teach other farmers how to grow the strongest, healthiest crops, like corn or sugarcane. Some charities help farmers to become fair trade farmers. Fair trade farmers usually sell their crops straight to stores and supermarkets so that the farmers get more money. This helps them to buy more seeds and to grow more food. Now scientists are even making seeds that can grow with little water.
Discover.
In some countries, scientists have learned to make rain. They put special chemicals into very cold clouds. Chapter 4. Water for everyone. Our planet Earth and almost everything on it needs water. Without water, plants, animals, and people would die. In some places, there's a lot of water. In other places, there isn't enough water, and this makes life very difficult. How water is used. This chart shows how fresh water is used by people around the world. A lot of water is used for farming. Crops need water to grow, and animals drink water. In industry, people use water to help machines to work, and so that they can make the things that we need and enjoy. Water is also important at home. We drink water. We use water to wash ourselves, clothes and dishes, and to clean the home. We also use water when we flush the toilet. Working with water. Many people work to provide water for farming and industry, and for the home. Most of the fresh water that people use comes from rivers, lakes, or under the ground. People build reservoirs to store this water. They also build pipes to take it to different places. In places where there isn't enough water, volunteers sometimes work with local people to build wells to provide water for families. They also help to keep water in wells and springs as clean as possible.
Discover.
Most of Earth's water is salt water in the oceans or frozen into ice. Only about 1% can be used by people for drinking, cooking, washing, farming and industry. Clean water. If people drink or touch dirty water, they can get very sick. People need clean water to stay healthy. People in richer countries are lucky because they have all the clean water that they need. In the water industry, people use chemicals to clean the dirty water that people have used. In many poor countries, people have no clean water. Every day, they have to use dirty water for cooking, drinking and washing. More than 1 billion people don't have clean water to drink.
Discover.
In some countries, charities give people life straws. Life straws make dirty water clean and safe to drink. Saving water. Today, there are about 6 billion people on our planet. Every day, there are more. Many people don't have enough water, or they have to travel a long way to collect water. We need to do things now to make sure that people in the future will have enough water. We can all help to save water. Don't use too much water when you wash your hands and face, brush your teeth, and wash the dishes. Turn off the water when you have enough. Put water in the refrigerator so that you don't have to turn on the water and use lots of it every time you want a cold drink. Take a shower, not a bath. If you have to take a bath, don't fill the bathtub. Chapter 5. Helping in emergencies. Some emergencies are because of a natural disaster, like a tsunami or an earthquake. Others are because of something that people do, like fighting in a war. In emergencies, people need help very quickly. Help for refugees. People become refugees when they have to leave their home in an emergency, or when their home is lost. There are millions of refugees in the world. Most refugees have had frightening experiences. They have often lost everything: their home, their job, and their school. Maybe they have lost people in their family too. They often live in refugee camps, special places where refugees can live and be safe. Refugees try to help themselves, but this can be very difficult. They usually need help from others too. Refugees need food, water, and somewhere to live. They also need to see a doctor if they have been hurt or if they are sick. Sometimes a country's government cares for refugees. International organizations like the United Nations usually help too. Charities are also important. Some charities help to build refugee camps and to give refugees food and clothes. Other charities help people who are hurt or sick. Charities also help refugees to go back to their home when it's safe. The tsunami in Indonesia, 2004. One of the worst natural disasters happened in Indonesia on December the 26th in 2004. A huge earthquake under the Indian Ocean caused a giant wave, or tsunami, that travelled thousands of kilometres across the ocean at great speed. By the end of that day, more than 150,000 people had died. Many thousands more people were hurt, and millions of people in many countries lost their homes. Lots of people helped after the tsunami. Families, friends, and neighbours helped each other. Many people came from countries all around the world to help too. Governments sent workers to help, and charities sent volunteers. One of the biggest jobs was to clean up the beaches in towns. People saved things like wood and stones to build new homes and buildings. The earthquake in Haiti, 2010. Another terrible natural disaster happened on January the 12th in 2010. There was a huge earthquake near Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti. More than 250,000 homes were damaged, and thousands of other buildings were destroyed. More than 200,000 people died, about 300,000 more people were hurt, and more than 1 million people lost their homes. The people of Haiti worked with many people from other countries who came to help. One of the most important jobs was to care for people who had been hurt and to find people who were lost. Dogs also helped to rescue people from under damaged buildings. People helped to get food and clean water to everyone and medicines to people who were sick. They also made refugee camps for people who had lost their homes. Chapter 6. Caring for animals. There are more than 6 billion people in the world, but there are very many more animals. Lots of people help animals. Do you know any people who help animals? Vets. Veterinarians, or vets, care for animals. Some vets work in veterinary centres in towns and cities. People take their pets, like cats and hamsters, when they are sick or hurt, or for vaccinations. Other vets go to farms, wildlife parks, and zoos to care for animals.
Discover.
These vets are caring for a snow leopard in a zoo. Snow leopards are very rare. There are only about 4,500 wild snow leopards in Asia. Animal charities. There are lots of animal charities. Some charities are small and they help local animals. Other charities are large international organizations that help animals all around the world. Charities help animals in many ways, but they need money to do this. Many people give money to animal charities. Some people give money to adopt an animal. The animal stays in its home, but the charity uses the money to help to keep it safe. Some volunteers from an animal charity in Germany collect toads that are migrating near dangerous roads. Then they take them to a safer place. An animal charity in Indonesia helps young orangutans when their parents have been killed by hunters. Volunteers care for the young orangutans. They build homes for them and they feed them. Then, when the orangutans are older, they can return to the forest if it's safe. Animal rescue. Some people rescue wild animals. Volunteers rescue animals that are hurt after disasters like oil spills. Birds and fish that are covered in oil will die if people don't clean them. Whales live in oceans, and they often travel thousands of kilometres every year. Grey whales, for example, spend the summer in the cold Arctic Ocean. Every October, they swim south, and they travel about 120 kilometres every day. Then they spend the winter in the warmer Pacific Ocean. Some whales swim into water that isn't deep enough. Some swim into rivers or onto beaches. If they can't get back to the deep ocean, they become very tired and they can hurt themselves. Volunteers try to move them into deeper water. Lots of volunteers are needed, and it can take a long time because whales are so big and heavy. If people didn't help whales like these, they would die. Chapter 7. Protecting life on Earth. There are many millions of species of plant and animal. They live all around us, on land, in water, and in the air. Without them, Earth and everything on it would die. Important species. Species are important in many ways. All species need each other. Animals eat plants, and some animals eat other animals too. People eat plants and animals. People also used plants as medicines and in industry. Protecting species. All individual plants and animals die. But when every plant or animal in a species has died, the species is extinct. This means that it's lost forever. When one species dies, maybe others that need it will die too. People need to protect all the plants and animals on Earth. If they don't, many species will become extinct in the future.
Discover.
Scientists think that from 150 to 200 species become extinct every day, but they keep finding new species too. Lots of people work to protect Earth's plants and animals. Conservationists work to protect species that are threatened. They work all around the world, in places like rainforests, deserts and oceans. In the USA, conservationists move sea turtle eggs from busy beaches to quieter places where they can hatch safely. Elephants live in many African countries. People and elephants have lived near each other for thousands of years. People have killed elephants for meat and for ivory, and they have taken land from elephants too. They have cut down trees and bushes that elephants need for food, so that they can build houses and grow crops. Sometimes elephants break buildings or hurt or kill people because the people live on elephants' land. This then makes people kill more elephants. Animal charities try to help elephants. They care for young elephants when their parents have been killed by hunters. Today, more than 16,000 species are threatened, like African elephants and many types of sea turtle. A charity called WWF works to protect threatened species all around the world. How can we help? We can all help to protect plants and animals in small ways. When we go out for a walk, we should always leave flowers where they grow. Then, in the future, more plants will grow from the seeds. In gardens and parks, we can grow plants that animals need for food and homes. All these things will help to protect important species.
Discover.
People can build an insect hotel and give insects a safe home. Scientists think that there are about 10 quintillion insects on Earth. That's 10 million. Chapter 8. Helping our planet. For millions of years, there has been life on our planet Earth. Earth has everything that people, animals and plants need: air, water and land. Everyone should care for our planet. How people damage Earth. People damage Earth with pollution that comes from vehicles like cars and planes, and from electricity used at home and in industry. To make electricity, people burn fossil fuels, like coal and oil. This makes too many gases like carbon dioxide, and they make Earth too warm. Many scientists think that this is changing Earth's climate. Some countries are becoming colder and wetter. Others are becoming hotter and drier. People use a lot of land to build towns and cities. They cut down millions of trees to clear land so that they can grow crops and keep animals. All these things can damage the environment and many of Earth's species of plants and animals. Protecting the environment. Governments, charities and individuals are working to find ways to protect the environment. Environmental campaigners teach people about problems like pollution. They talk to governments and news reporters. They tell people about ways to stop pollution. Many volunteers help to protect the environment after a disaster. For example, they clean beaches after an oil spill, or they plant new trees after a fire. Some scientists have found ways to make clean electricity that does not use fossil fuels. Instead, they use energy from the sun, wind, or water. This is important because we all need electricity, but there won't be fossil fuels forever. Today, most cars, buses, and trucks use gasoline that's made from oil. Some engineers have designed cars and buses that use biogas instead. Biogas can be made from waste or from plants. Other ways to help Earth. If we all use less electricity, we will use fewer fossil fuels. This will reduce pollution. When we aren't watching television or using the computer, we should remember to turn them off. When we go out of a room, we should turn off the lights too. We shouldn't use very hot water to wash ourselves or our clothes, because we use a lot of electricity to heat water. We all need things like beds, chairs and tables, but many people buy too much. Making lots of new things uses lots of electricity. We should use things for as long as possible. This will use less electricity. We should also reuse or recycle things as much as possible. This will make less waste, which is good for the environment. When you turn off electricity, you can help to keep seals safe. Harp seals have their babies on the ocean ice in the Arctic. If Earth gets warmer, the ice will melt and the seals could be threatened. In small ways, we can help the environment in a big way. We can all help our planet.